Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Patricia Bernard, and I am the host of Dr. B Stress Free Real Talk for You. And we are here every Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have a YouTube channel, and we would love for you to join us. We are always here to talk about health, wealth, entrepreneurship, and politics. And we know there's a lot of that going on, right? And so I'm just really excited to bring in a community of people because I believe in educating, motivating, and elevating the lifestyles of others. And so we want to continue to lift up those people in the communities that a lot of times people don't get a chance to know who they are and what's going on with them. And so I have a young lady that I'm going to be introducing you to today. And we're just going to have an inspiring session with Miss Barbara Sabol. And she's a trailblazer. She's a trailblazer in the healthcare, government, and nonprofit development sectors, starting as an emergency room nurse, and that takes a lot in itself, right? And she became an administrator, a commissioner of New York City Human Resources Administration. Barbara's journey is a testament of resilience and dedication with a career spanning roles as such as instructor, professor, consultant, government policymaker. She has consistently strived to make a difference. And now what she's going to share with us is something that's dear to her heart. She is the founder of HomeWorks USA LLC. Welcome, Ms. Barbara.
Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting me to participate. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to see old and dear and precious friends. This is wonderful. Well, should I start by saying, how did I get involved in HomeWorks USA?
Yes, how and why did this project get started? Tell us.
I will. Well, I think it started very early in my life. My mother remembers her father standing by her mother's bedside while she was delivering a newborn and at the same time dying.
Oh,
And she said in her dying words to her husband, "Charlie, keep these children together." So that using the standard, is it good for the children, has been my standard in all the work that I've done that you have described. Is it good for the children? That's the question. So as I went through my career and had responsibility for the child welfare system in several states and at the federal government from a policy perspective and at state government from a policy perspective, one of the things that was clear that young people aging out of foster care did not oftentimes have a good head start toward a thriving adulthood. And I said to myself, if there's ever anything I can do, I will do. And my sister and I inherited some property on which my father grew up because his grandmother reared him and two other sets of three siblings. So she reared 9 children in a little bitty house on this farmland that we are now building affordable rental housing for young people aging out of foster care. It's a legacy to my father. It's a legacy to all of those who have helped me across the career span, my family, and particularly my sister, who is the joint property owner with me on this particular piece of land.
Wow, that is awesome. Awesome. So Barbara, can you explain to us, because unfortunately, a lot of times we hear about this type of situations, but everyone's not really abreast of how that really works. So explain aging out. Can you explain that, please?
Sure. Children come into foster care for a number of reasons at a number of ages. But by law, they age out of the foster care system. That means there's no more reimbursement, no more support for them. So between the ages of 18 and 26, there are some programs, and I have to say there have been some improvements. There are some programs that help them, but housing, affordable rental housing, is the main barrier that they face. So they end up moving from place to place, sleeping on people's couches. They end up homeless. They end up in the criminal justice system. Many of them are very successful, but many of them face these barriers that keep them from thriving as adults. So these are young people who are moving out of the foster system into adulthood, oftentimes without the supports that many of us had from our parents, from our family, from our extended family and friends. Many of these youngsters do not have that kind of support. So in this project of affordable rental housing, you can enter at age 18 if you have been in foster care. You can enter anytime up to the age of 26 if you have been in foster care, and you can stay until you're 27. On your 27th birthday, we think you ought to be ready to launch yourself. We hope this is going to be a launch pad. And so it's for that particular group of children. And this project is small, but we think it can be a model for others who want to invest in this particular group of young people, particularly around the issue of affordable housing. It does not look like that issue is going to be solved anytime soon if we look at the number of people who are homeless today across the country.
Wow. Yes, and I know, I mean, we've got a lot of our veterans that are on the streets, you know, and a lot of homelessness. And I don't think people start thinking about homeless people, but they don't necessarily say, oh, well, some of these could be foster care kids that really we failed them. We have failed them with a system that is not set up to support them or help to transition them into real life situations.
That's exactly right. I do want to mention, though, there have been some improvements since I was working in the system many years ago. We now have Medicaid. There's been a policy change in Medicaid that allows young people who are 18 and moving out of foster care in year 2023 to carry their Medicaid with them. Whatever state they go to, they can have coverage for health care. If we want these young people to be healthy, insurance is a big part of that for preventive care and other care that they may need. So this is a project that focuses on affordable rental housing. We don't plan to raise the rent while they are here. We want them to save. We want them to invest in themselves. We want them to be entrepreneurs. We want this to be a launch pad that will move them to a thriving adulthood. The kind of things that parents would oftentimes do with and for their own children.
Right. So now my understanding is the location that you have right now is currently in Kansas.
It's in Lawrence, Kansas. That's our mailing address, but we're really in Leavenworth County, Kansas. And the closest town is Lawrence, Kansas, home of the KU Jayhawks, Tonganoxie, Kansas, and Leavenworth, Kansas, and the community from which Sherry Grogan comes, Baser, Kansas, and the various communities around. This is a rural area. We have had to build infrastructure from the very beginning, septic systems, water systems, electric systems. We have had to do all of that in order to assure that we had safe, affordable housing.
Now let me ask you, so where do you get your funding from?
Well, we get it from dear friends and colleagues. We have gotten some from foundations, the Kellogg Foundation, the Casey Family Foundation, have the Ohio Community Foundation have invested, but mostly it has come from family and friends and supporters.
Okay. So how would we support your program?
It's not a program.
Oh, that's right. You told me it was not a program.
It is not a program. This is affordable rental housing. We will have a community manager who will help the young people link to services that already exist in Leavenworth, in Tonganoxie, in Lawrence. We're not trying to build a new social service structure. We're trying to connect them to services they may want and that they may need that already exist in the community. Health services, mental health services, financial assistance services, the kind of services that all of us use, grocery store services, library services. So we're not trying to build a program. We're trying to provide affordable rental housing that is based on three principles. Home works. If you have a stable place to live, that makes a big difference. Services matter. All of us use services. So our job is to help the young people maneuver if they need our help doing that. And the final thing is nature helps. This is in a beautiful rural area. It has a mile walking trail that's available to the community. And we want these young people to form their community and link with the surrounding communities that are close by.
Okay, so right now you're basically working within the state of Kansas in certain communities that you're launching. Is any one community completely put together yet, or you guys are actually in the process of doing that now?
We have a pre-application. Well, let me be real clear. The young people come to the University of Kansas. They come to Haskell Institute. They come to the technical school from all across the United States. So the affordable rental housing isn't just available to Kansas residents. It's available to who may apply, who gets accepted, and who wishes to live in this particular affordable housing. So it's not limited to just Kansas residents.
So if someone, because I know last week I featured another phenomenal lady, and she was basically in the foster care community, and I think she had 10 kids and 7 she had adopted herself, and she had indicated that I think in just the state of Michigan alone there's over 7,000 children that are homeless, and we don't hear people talk about it enough as far as I'm concerned. They're talking about all this other stuff that sometimes don't even matter, but that's just my opinion. So if someone wanted to do something like this, say in Michigan or in Florida or in other states, do you have like a blueprint or a franchise, or how would that work?
We don't have a blueprint or a franchise. We are documenting this as we go along.
Okay.
We started this process in 2016.
Oh, wow.
We had our first meeting with planning and zoning in February of 2016. We got a building permit in 2019.
Okay.
We began the process of building the infrastructure, getting permits for the water systems, etc. And COVID came along. That put a damper on things. But now, in May of 2024, 5 units are complete.
Yay.
They're ready for occupancy. We have parking. We have the driveway done. We have the tornado shelter. We are ready to receive. Right now, we have 5 units that are ready to rent. And anyone who has called us to ask, how did we do this and what did it take? It takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of perseverance. It takes a lot of resilience. It takes a lot of partners. If I can tell you, most Well, let me put it this way. When we started working on this project, we were working with a project called Youth Build.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone wants to jump in anytime and ask a question, please feel free. But we were working with Youth Build in Kansas City, Kansas. And they were teaching youth how to do construction work on
Mm.
our site. Um, they lost their grant. So it meant then that we had to rethink what we were doing because that meant we had to then pay for labor, but we
Mm-hmm.
figured it out. So
Ah.
it's figuring it out, working with people, working in partnership to get it done. And I can tell you that relationships are primary. All else is derivative. And it was through our relationships that we have been able to raise the resources, get the support, and not just financial support, but volunteer support.
Mm-hmm.
Much of the work has been done by volunteers.
Wow, that is
We don't
beautiful.
allow volunteers to get on the ladder, but anything that doesn't require a ladder, volunteers have helped. They have helped develop a community garden. They have helped build the houses. They help clean up. They they help move cement so we can have sidewalks and porches. Whatever needs to be done, we have called upon volunteers and they have risen to the occasion. People from all walks of life.
That's
People have come in
beautiful.
off the highway and said, I see this driving by. What's going on here? We
Mm-hmm.
explain it to them. Next thing we know, we have a volunteer. So this
Wow.
project would not be where it is today without the support of volunteers.
That's
Volunteers.
beautiful. Give me your I think we got a question too, but I want to put in the chat. You have a website, correct?
Yes.
I don't know if Miss Rose is still on here, but I'd like to type your website.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, can you type in the chat or do I need to do it?
Okay. Oh, well, it went away. Okay, I'll get it in before it's over. I'll get it in for
Okay,
you.
yeah, let's put her website on the chat so that everyone can take a look. I just think it's awesome. I just think, what's interesting, Ms. Barb, and I think I told you this. First of all, you all, I want you to know we had before I interview anyone on our show, I make sure I have a personal conversation with them because that's how we vibe and that's how I get a feel for who I'm speaking to. And as a young girl, I used to live in Topeka, Kansas, because my dad was in the Air Force. He did 20 years. And so Miss Barbara and I were talking because I remember years ago when they had a really bad tornado and it tore the whole downtown of Topeka, Kansas up. And she remembers that. So we got to talking about Topeka and Leavenworth. I did 34 years with the Army. And all I know is if you made any mistakes financially, they said you'd end up in Leavenworth. So Leavenworth was always negative. It was like, if you mess up with this government finance, you might end up in Leavenworth. That was just well, I didn't even say that. So it's just interesting because just to have a tie and understand, where you're located, what's going on. It sounds like to me, you all have actually built this program from scratch. And even though you thought that you had volunteers, here's COVID threw off a lot of things. But I just came back from Iowa, Ottumwa, Iowa, which I know most of you guys don't know where it's at. It's about an hour and a half south of Des Moines. And I had the pleasure, because I had an interest, I'm a real estate broker. So I just have to ride by an area where they're building these tiny houses. And so I actually have a video, I'll post it on my Facebook later for everybody. But I actually went in there and I viewed it and I said, this will be perfect for veterans or elderly or whoever needs just a safe place to live. And then I get to talking to Miss Barbara, and what does she tell me? She goes, we're building these tiny houses. I'm like, okay, wait a minute now. This is crazy because I was just in one this weekend, had no idea Miss Barbara was into, I knew that I was going to be interviewing her. I think Miss Rose had mentioned it to me, but we had not spoken until Monday when I got back. So I honestly believe, I don't care what nobody says, everything happens in divine order. And God has a way of putting all the right people in the right place. I don't care whether there's a storm, there's a pandemic, whatever happens to get in the way, somehow it always have a way of working out. And so
Can I
I
just,
said I was going to show that little video, but I'm not going to, technical wise, I'd have to try to airdrop it to my laptop. I have my Apple products and show it, but I actually showed it to, I think I have Mr. Anthony Louis on here. Lou, he had a chance to look at it today, and we were kicking it around. I said, you know what? I've already been talking about having a nonprofit to be like a safe haven for people, whether they're veterans, whether they're foster care. But now that I'm getting more involved and hearing more and more about the foster care system and the children and how they age out at 18, you never think about this stuff until somebody brings it up. But what a great way to be able to build a community, leave a legacy. And these little tiny houses are just so cool to me because it doesn't take a whole lot. And tell me, Ms. Barbara, how long does it take to build one of those?
Well, the building is not, it doesn't take that long. It's the infrastructure that you have to be concerned about, water, septic. But we were small by design. I mean, that was our purpose. The largest ones are about 386 square feet, and the smallest ones are 284 square feet. So it's about the size of Roz will appreciate this, of a studio apartment in New York, but not nearly the cost.
But Barbara, can I just add something to what you've been saying? You've been, this is Roz, just talking about this as affordable housing or tiny houses. This is actually much, much more than that. These houses are, first of all, a work of art in terms of the amazing people who have given of themselves and their work to make them happen. They are a work of art. I cannot describe this. They are the most aesthetically magnificent places in which you can live, with the most beautiful artistic, everything in it, the woodwork, the quilts, everything in each house, which is different from the other houses, is a work of art. And it's a community. It's not just giving somebody a place to live where they're on their own.
Exactly.
Every single person is going to be part of a community, a work of art, to be nurtured and to feel that they are somebody very important. And it also has an incredible family history, as Barbara was talking about. And when you're on land that has that history, and you know what it meant and what keeping children together meant, I just can't describe it. I just hope, Barbara, you talk about this as much more than affordable housing for kids coming out of foster care.
Well, you know what, Ms. Roz, I'm so glad that you're saying this, because that word affordable housing is just kind of everybody's kind of like a buzzword now, right? Where people are saying, and people are still looking to find out, well, where is it really affordable? But you're right. I'm so glad you're taking the time to give us a great descriptive of what it is, because I just envisioned, I think about Mackinac Island, which is in Michigan. I don't know if anyone on here has ever been to Mackinac Island, but that, the Grand Hotel where a lot of people, all the governors meet once a year, every room in that hotel is different. It's designed different. It's not like your run-of-the-mill hotel where every room is the same and you know what I mean? And I'm getting the view, it's just in my mind, I'm thinking that, wow, so it's not like a cookie cutter type process.
You don't have to wonder about it. You can go to the website. You can take a virtual tour of the tiny homes and see what they look like. And I think, Raj, you've probably been on that tour, right?
Absolutely. And it is breathtaking. absolutely breathtaking. And so anybody who is fortunate enough to come into this community and be part of it. The other thing is that the views of people in foster care are going to determine how the community evolves in the future. So these are people who will have a say over how the community in which they're living evolves, which is just a hallmark of everything that Barbara does. So this is so special. I just can't emphasize it enough.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Well, thank you. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? Because, you know, a lot of times people are looking for some kind of way to make a difference, and have a purpose. And this is just wonderful. I mean, it allows you, it sounds like there's a room for some creativity, as well as making them feel very, very special.
It's not only making them feel special, but it's giving them the opportunity not only to be a part of the community that they will be building, but to be a part of the surrounding communities, to participate in policy making, in activities that go on in communities, to encourage others, to interact with the volunteers. We have volunteers who have already volunteered to do more, to be mentors, if should a young person want it. We are developing a curated website so that they can go onto each home is wired for internet, so that they can have their own business in their own tiny home. We want these houses to soon be homes to these young people so that they can launch themselves and grow and develop. The other thing I would say is that the volunteers are also growing and learning and developing. We're learning as we go, we're documenting as we go so that it can help others. We have gotten feedback from young people who are in foster care as we've gone along. I often tell the story, we had focus groups for a group of young people who were in foster care, and there were a group of boys and a group of girls, and we were trying to figure out, do we have to get ovens? Or can we make it with just microwaves? How can we do this? Well, it was interesting. The boys said they didn't need any ovens. Who needs an oven? All the girls said, oh, we need an oven because we have to cook for Thanksgiving and Christmas and other. So I think Roz's point is an important point. We have been seeking the input from the young people as we have gone along. Excellent. We will continue to seek their input. We're hoping they will form a tenants association, that they will become a support group for each other. The other thing I would say about volunteers, because I don't want to lose this thought, and that is there are volunteers who come to the site and do work. And I mean, they come every week after their pickleball. After they play pickleball, they come right to us and they volunteer. We have volunteers. We can pick up the phone and say, look, the concrete truck is coming Tuesday. We need some help spreading the concrete. Can you come? And they come. But we also have volunteer opportunities that people can do virtually. They can help us with the website. They can help. There are all kinds of activities that we have listed out that they can do from anywhere in the world, really, with the internet. So that the opportunity to share, to give, to develop relationships is there, not just for the young people, but for the volunteers and others who come onto the site. The other thing that I would mention is that if you go to the website, you can take the virtual tour. You can also go to our Homeworks YouTube channel and check it out. And you can also sign up to be a volunteer on the website.
So it's yes. homeworks-usa.com.
That's correct.
-usa.com. And you also have a YouTube channel. That's fantastic.
Right. Homeworks, services matter, nature helps. nature helps. And so the beauty is trying to bring harmony between the built environment and the natural environment. When we started on this project, they were projecting that young people were spending 8.7 hours a day on their devices.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know what it would be because that was in 2019. I don't know what it would be now, but there needs to be a balance between the use of technology and nature. And we have tried to do that. We're trying to build an environmentally sustainable community and get the young people used to understanding what it means to leave an environmental footprint.
Wow.
Every home is geared for solar energy. So if a young person figures out, oh, how I can save, they can reduce their electric bill to a great extent because there's net metering on site. And I know Roz wants me to talk more about the connections as well as the housing, but the built environment, the relationships, the relationship with nature are all key to what happens at Homeworks USA. And the volunteers are key to all of it.
This is awesome because in today's society, yes, our youth, it doesn't matter where you go, they're all looking down on their phone. You know, they're not tuned in. They have no idea what it takes to me, a lot of them to even run a home unless the parents are making them do their chores and do certain things. And so what you're really doing is you're taking these young people to a whole nother level. Once they age out, now they go into the real life where they can put these life skills together. And please mute yourself. I hear someone. Please mute yourself. But, you know, you're able to put them in a situation where you don't have to worry about all that, but yet they're starting to use their skills.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't negate the skills that these young people come with.
Okay.
They come with skills, they come with aspirations, they come with desires, they come like all of us come with good points and not so good points. And what we hope to do is to help them build a community that will let them grow and thrive, make choices that are good choices. This is small living.
Oh, Barb, I don't know. We're losing you. I can't hear you.
And learn from each other.
Okay, you cut out for a minute, so we lost a little bit of what you were just saying. But you're saying learn from each other and so on.
Yeah, we know a lot about brain development now. That we know a lot about adverse childhood experiences. We have to take the science and try to build it into the supports that we give these young people.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I want to mention, because I think it's key, because we have sometimes false perceptions about foster children who have been in foster care.
Okay.
And so there are foster children who have physical limitations and physical disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
At least in the group of 5 that we are they are rent ready, 2 of them are ADA accommodating.
Okay.
So if a young person has a handicap, we can accommodate that.
Excellent.
And to move back to Roz's point about art, there's one thing I want to mention. As you take the tour, I want you to look at the doors that are in the tiny houses. These doors were made in Nicodemus, Kansas. Nicodemus, Kansas is one of the few Black communities that still exists from times long ago.
Wow.
They were made there by an artisan. Every door is different
Wow.
because, again, we wanted to respect and honor these young people by giving them a place that they can call home that is beautiful. And they are beautiful.
Wow. That they can take pride in. And you know, when you make people feel like they are a part of whatever is going on, I just always say teamwork makes the dream work. Then they're making, like you said, the girls are saying, the guys are, we don't need an oven. The girls say, yeah, we need an oven because we need to bake for Thanksgiving. That's why you bring the team together. And so now they are going to take ownership in what you're giving, you know, what they're getting and so on. Now, let me ask you this. So is there a certain amount that they have to pay to stay there, or how does that work?
Absolutely. This is affordable rental housing. The highest cost that we will be charging for the rent is $550 per month.
Okay.
And that will include their water and their high-speed internet.
Oh, high speed. Okay.
Yes. We are trying to remove as many barriers as possible so that they can get started and they can begin to think about their future and their plans and their desires and education, employment, whatever it is their dream is for themselves. So we're not going to raise the rent for the duration of their stay.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
So that they can save, so that they can explore education, so that they can explore entrepreneurial opportunities.
Wow.
This is an opportunity community. I guess that would,
Okay.
this is an opportunity community.
I like that. I like that. So let me ask the audience here. We've got quite a few people on right now, and thank you for supporting us today. Does anyone have any questions about anything? Questions or comments? Unmute yourself. Give us your name and where you're from.
Before you do that, let me mention one other thing because I want to focus on the community garden. In addition to promoting the relationship between the community, larger community, and the homeworks community of young people, it also allows them to control their food costs.
Ooh.
So as we have thought about and planned, as I say, this is a planned development. As we have thought about and planned for this, how is it that you reduce the costs for the young people who are going to live there? And food is an important part of that.
Yeah.
The other part of that is we're building in edible landscaping. So the landscaping will be beautiful, but it will also be edible.
I love that. Well, they're going to make sure they keep it watered and they're going to nurture it. And I've been saying this to a lot of people with what's going on in today's society. I think we all need to take control over our food supply, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, so now I like how you guys are thinking this completely out. So you're definitely putting together a community. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, I'm involved in a business where we travel to unravel and we do it from an educational perspective. And it sounds like we need to take a trip out to your community to witness what's going on. We'll have to put that together. Does anyone have any questions, comments? We have about 10 more minutes.
I do have a comment. I just want to say I'm so happy to hear about this program. This is very much something that I would like to do here in Michigan. But starting with really we have a lot of vacant land places and opening up more urban farms. So I love the fact that you're starting a community garden. We basically have a farm out in our backyard with no animals, but lots of plants. So I think that's awesome. When more people, taking, plant seeds, grow your food and
Yes, sir.
take control and ownership of yourselves and of your own property. Because it made me look up what we have is adopt a lot, which I heard someone speaking about.
Mhm.
Because, I was thinking, well, how maybe I could adopt a lot even if I can't buy right now.
Mhm.
So I love this. I love this idea. I love to hear it. One of the things is I want to get involved with a lot of our orphanages with what I'm doing here in Michigan. So I'm excited for you all.
Thank you.
That was Crystal Brock out of Detroit, Michigan area. Anyone else want to make any comments, questions?
Sure, this is Sherry from Kansas, and I've been helping Barbara and Frankie for a few years now, and it's been real interesting to see the progress. And there has been a lot of hard work and sweat. I'm sure we've had some tears too. And we're not talking a small parcel of property here. It's like over 20 acres.
Okay.
And so there's mowing and tree limbs, and it was real muddy, and a lot of rock had to be hauled in. And what I'm impressed is their ability to attract volunteers. And some volunteers come and they help a little bit, some help a lot. And some have a few miles to drive to come and help, and others have a further distance. So, I know for myself as a volunteer, I'm very anxious to see people in the homes. I can't wait for that,
Mhm.
first set of 5 to come in.
Mhm.
And I think we'll be high-fiving it and having a party. I mean, it's been such a long time coming. And I just love Barbara and all she's doing. It's just awesome to see this. But like I said, getting that first 5 in there. And,
Right.
it's not going to be a cakewalk, I'm sure. We will be learning as we go.
Yes.
I'm sure we're going to have some challenges. I don't know what they're going to be yet, but we're going to get through it.
Wow.
Because we're like a family out there, and we're working together on this.
Wow, that's fantastic. So when do you all, with your milestones and everything that you have set, when do you foresee being able to have the 5 set up there? Do you have them already lined up on who's going to go in yet? Or you haven't gotten that far, or where are you?
We have gotten, let me tell you where we are. We have the pre-application on the website. So anyone who knows of someone who may be interested, or a young person who may be interested, can go to the website and do a pre-application to make a determination. Is this someplace I could be successful in? Is this someplace I would want to live in? They can fill out the pre-application. We have a team that will review the applications, and we will make the selection of the first 5. So we hope by the end of July, no later than the end of July, we will have 5 residents at Homeworks USA, building a community, and we'll continue to work on the next 5. The next 5 are 80. Would you agree with me, Sherry? They're about 85% complete.
Yeah.
That's great.
Some landscaping still to do. They just finished some asphalt on a driveway, some sidewalk. I mean, we're getting there, but it's one step at a time.
Absolutely.
Just when we have something scheduled, it'll pour down rain, and just different things come up, and we're getting there. This week was a huge step, right, Barb?
It was a huge step. Wow. Because, and in fact, it was an eye opener for me. I watched them put the asphalt down. I have never been that enamored of asphalt. It was so exciting to see it go down and know that we had solved at least part of the mud problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. So every step brings us closer to changing these houses into homes.
We even have a little dog park.
Yes, we do.
Little fenced-in dog park area.
Yeah, I forgot about that. We
Beautiful.
do have a dog park.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow. So basically what you're saying to me is that by August or September, it's possible that you all might have 10 of the homes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Well,
Can I
team,
get in?
I've got a lot of people that follow me on our podcast, and we're on YouTube. You can look me up on Dr. Be Stress Free. And every week we are featuring experts, professionals, whether they're chiropractors, we've had licensed mental health providers, we've had phlebotomists, where they have mobile blood, where they're going around taking people's blood because they're telling you, once a year you need to have your blood checked, whatever it might be. We've had people on here, and that's what I want to continue to do. And so you all just led into a segue of last week, we just talked about the foster care program and the need for assistance and mentorship and so on. And so it just led right on into Ms. Rosa saying, well, I know some ladies that are working a project and they're finding homes for the foster children that age out. And I'm thinking, oh my God, well, that is fantastic. So I'm excited. So to come in there, you fly into where? Kansas City, or how far are you from the
Kansas
nearest
City.
airport?
Yeah, Kansas City is the nearest airport. And it's about 40 miles
40
from
miles
Kansas,
from there?
from Kansas City, Missouri. It's not quite 40 miles. What is it about?
No.
It's about 45 minutes from the airport.
Yeah, 45
to
minutes.
to the Homeowners
To the site.
USA. Mhm.
Mhm,
Okay. All right.
mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Any other questions or comments? It's 7:57.
Should I mention our non-for-profit that people can contribute to if they would
Yes.
want?
Yes.
Okay,
ma'am.
our non-for-profit that accepts donations on our behalf is called Staff, capital S, capital T, capital A, capital F, and that stands for Students, Then Athletes Foundation Fund. The address is 3043 Superior Avenue, Suite 200, Cleveland, Ohio, 44114. And finances and volunteers are the linchpins of what will keep this moving forward. But believe me, when you come in September, we'll have 10 residents.
All right. Well, excellent. You've done an
And
excellent
we
job.
have someone who's saying, can we put the link to staff in the chat? Can you do
That's
that?
what I was trying to do, but you went a little fast. Did you grab that, Miss Barbara? I mean, Rosa, Miss Rosa.
It's
I was
S,
trying to grab it too, and she was going,
You were talking fast. Okay, it's
it's capital S, capital T, capital A, capital F, capital F. Student,
S is,
Wait, hold on. I got
Okay, staff.
Wait, hold on. Staff, STAFF, then student,
Yes.
STUDENT. Go ahead.
Then Athletes
Okay.
Foundation Fund. Students, Then Athletes Foundation Fund, 3043 Superior Avenue, Suite 200, Cleveland,
Hold on. Suite 200, right?
3043 Superior Avenue,
Yep, I have that.
Suite 200,
Oh, okay. I didn't mean to send it yet, but okay, go ahead.
Cleveland, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
44114.
Okay, so what I have is staff, student, athlete, foundation, fund 30, fund, then 3043 Superior Avenue, Suite 200, Cleveland, Ohio, 44114.
Students, Then Athlete Foundation Fund. There's Students, Then Athletes Foundation Fund.
Okay, well, I pretty much have it out there, Rose, if you want to repeat it, but I think everybody got an idea.
someone
It's
just put the
Okay,
website
then I
itself.
have here the
there.
https staffund.org/about.
That's probably their website.
Yeah, that's the
And
link.
you'll see the
I'm on
Homeworks
YouTube.
USA logo on that website. So that's a good place to start.
Excellent.
But we encourage you to go to our website and to our YouTube channel and learn more about us and let the young people know we're here for them.
Wow. Well, you've done a very great job representing this art of love, I'm going to call it. You said it's not a project, so I'm not going to use that word project.
No, you can use the word project. It's not a program.
Oh, I still got it right. Okay, it's not a program, it's a project. All right. Well, it's a wonderful project, and I would just love to see it. And so we're going to see what we can do to get out there. I want to thank everybody for jumping on. Again, this is Dr. B Stress Free. We're here every Tuesday at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know who we can be able to network with and tie into the things that we're all trying to do. And everyone's looking to make a difference. So, and teamwork makes the dream work. So with that, I would like
Thank
to
you.
end. Everybody got to say happy birthday to Miss Barbara. Tomorrow's her birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
She likes chocolate.
Okay, and we just want to,
birthday.
Miss Barbara, I want to bless you and bless you with many, many more birthdays, great health and wealth.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you for hosting us.
Thank you. Now we're going to come back. We want you to come back at least sometime in September, whatever, and we want to see what's going on with you, okay?
Okay, you got it.
All right, ladies, you all have a blessed evening. Thank you so much. And don't forget
Thank
to
you.
go to YouTube. And so look for their YouTube channel as well as Dr. B Stress Free. Have a blessed one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.